welcome to another video. Today it is the much requested and long awaited everything my mum has knit for me video. I have asked her off camera if she was willing to do everything she's knit for herself video in the future at some point, and you said yes. So there will be another one coming because mum's taste and my taste are very different when it comes to knitting. Yes. But I think that keeps it interesting for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Although there are a few things that mum has now refused to knit for me from experience. I don't have the very first thing that mum knit for me. It was a Hortensia cardigan in a variegated wool, and it was the first time that you'd done a knitting around all together, kind of no stitching it together once the pieces were done. Yes. And it was Canadian pattern, wasn't it? Because it's a Hortensia is from Andy Satterland. Yes. It was very new language.
I hadn't knit for years.
Yeah. Why did you get back into knitting?
After my chemotherapy, it helped me to get my fingers going again.
With dexterity.
Yes.
And it was an activity of sitting in the evenings, wasn't it, as well?
And most of the day at that stage.
Yeah.
I couldn't do
there
very much.
There was not a lot of energy on yeah.
And interestingly, I had the side effect of the pins and needles in the fingers and feet. And because they hadn't gone after 2 months, they said, I'm sorry, you'll probably have them for life. But because I was doing the knitting and a little bit of walking as I could, I've actually managed to get rid of it. So,
that's awesome.
And I'm sure it was the knitting.
Yeah.
Sure it was. Yeah.
So, you learnt to knit when you were much younger though, didn't you?
Oh yes. My mum taught me. I knitted scarves like I taught you.
Yes, I have successfully knit one scarf, which I still haven't woven the ends in. I've started 2 other scarves. Oh no, I started one scarf and I wanted it was a variegated wool and I wanted it to be really long, and it ended up getting boring, so I made it into a snood. And then I started another scarf with a really interesting weird wool, which was variegated with lots of different kind of like tinsel bits and stuff in it, and yeah, that also has been abandoned. So technically I can knit.
You did knit a cat blanket,
did I?
With that big wool with the big needle.
Yes, my friend sent me the yarn for a giant blanket, which I do love. I think it's stored under my bed at the moment because there's no room for it in my house. Bless him, when I sent him a photo of the finished one, he went, is that the size of it? Because it was the smallest one. It was like, but that stuff is really, I think it was like 120 quid for the kit.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and I do have the world's giantest needles over they're still over there. Behind the overlockers.
Oh right, yes,
they do kind of look like vampire steaks. So
they probably are.
Yes. So I don't have the very first thing that mum knit for me, but I absolutely love Andy Satterland's patterns. And once you kind of worked out the language, because there's obviously patterns are written in different languages anyway, but then there's actually different kind of terminology within the knitting world as well.
There is. Yeah, there's Canadian, there's French, there's Spanish. I mean, it's just all of it is different. American, English.
Yeah. And with the advent of Ravelry, which is an amazing resource, we've got access to patterns from all over the world. Yeah. I'm not sure where to start because I put them in colour ordered behind me because it looks prettiest rather than like when mum knit this for me. So should we just start one side and work our way through?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Oh, no, we'll do the hat when we get to that cardigan. The Hortensia is one of my favourites. This is the black one. This is one of the things that mum has now said that she won't do any more Hortensias because they're boring. They're a beautiful pattern, but there's no like cables or anything interesting in them. And you also won't knit in black or dark colours.
Very rarely.
Yeah, really have to beg for that. So I like them because they're little cropped cardigans. They have buttons at the front, but I tend not to use them. They're a V-neck and they just go really well with everything in my wardrobe. I've put a scuba dress on today so that I can get everything easily on and off, because I thought about that. My one black cardigan, I have asked for another one and been thoroughly told no. So
maybe one day. Yes. Trouble is seeing.
Yeah, because mum tends to knit in front of the TV in the evenings. You do have, before everyone says, you do have like a lamp.
Oh, I do.
A directional lamp.
Yes.
And there's these little things that you can get round that sit around your neck with little lights on them. But I don't know if they'd be useful.
I don't know. They probably get in my way.
Next up, this is one that mum went off-pieced. She went through my Ravelry, picked out one that she liked the look of and just started knitting it. It is a drops design. They call it like a little shrug, I think.
Yeah.
I've got a real thing for these kind of circular kind of cardigans. I really like them. So I wasn't available when this was being knitted, so
managed to do the sleeves too long.
Well, because I have long arms,
yeah,
and because
I always do extra.
yeah, because if you don't, then they're too short. Yeah, you went completely off piste with this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I do very much like it.
Yeah, which is good.
So it looks really good again with. I mean, I favourited it on my Ravelry. I will link Mum and I's Ravelries, because we do have different accounts, in the description down below. The one thing you don't use Ravelry for is posting your finished makes.
No, I should probably do that.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I get asked quite frequently, is if your mum has a Ravelry account. And it's like, well, yes, but it's not really, it's only the things that she likes, not the things that she's made. Mum also knit for me. I'm not going to try this one on because it's actually really tight around the bottom. There's no give in the bottom rib. So I can get it on, but it's a little bit of a struggle. But this is the Chuck Jumper from Andy Satterland. It's really, really cute. So it's got the detailing down the front, the cables, different types of cables. Is that a cable as well, or is that just a detail?
It's a detail, yeah.
So I do really like this jumper, but it is, the bottom is not springy.
Right.
So it just fits over my boobs.
Good.
It's a squish. I have to be wearing something like this Scuba, which is slippery, for it to go on.
Oh, that's a shame.
But I do like it.
Yeah.
There will definitely be a theme for this one. This is another Hortensia. This time it's in the hot pink. Need to put new buttons on, because the shell buttons that I put on, when they've been washed, the paint's just chipped off. And I do have more of these buttons. Chip the rest of this paint off.
Or chip the rest off.
Yeah. I love this one. I wear this a lot. This goes with a lot of my wardrobe. It looked great with the red hair. Definitely clashing. Again, I don't think these are in order, but I think this was when Mum had started complaining about the fact that I was constantly asking her to knit the Hortensia, and she's like, it's boring, I want something a bit more interesting. So this is the Andy Satterland Vian cardigan in the burnt orange silk from Debbie Bliss. And it's kind of got like a lace detail at the back, and then little details along the front as well. I've got some orange shell buttons. I bought this wool from one of the knitting and stitching shows, and I had enough left that I asked for a hat as well, which I don't wear often enough.
It's nice. It really suits you.
It is nice, yeah. I ought to wear it more often. I think because the way I stored my hats previously, they weren't easily accessible, so, and we haven't really been going anywhere for the last couple of years in the winters and stuff.
True. That's true.
So yes, it's a very. Can they see in the?
Yes, they can. Yeah.
It's a really pretty pattern. Again, this is from Ravelry. I think it's a free pattern. I will list it in the description down below. You were saying earlier you really like the stitch on this.
Yeah, it's nice. I'd forgotten that stitch.
Yeah. Would you be, because Mum's got very brave and has started doing a lot of kind of ad-libbing with patterns,
yes,
haven't you?
Yes.
So, yeah, because I will constantly come to her and just be like, oh, I really like this one, but
I want to sleep knit.
Yeah, I want a because I much prefer a V-neck than I do like a higher turtle, like a square neck or something like that. So you've been ad-libbing with a lot more with patterns.
Yeah.
So would you be able to take a stitch like this and then knit the Hortensia in it?
The Hortensia?
Yeah, the boring
probably,
one.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah.
Because that might make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely be an experiment. Next up, we're going to need to back up for, and you'll just move a little bit. There you go. Don't go too far because you'll be out of shot. But
oh. Yes, I ended up making 3 of them, didn't I?
2.
Was it any? No, one, Nia's got one, you've got one, and I've got one.
No, this is yours.
Oh, this is mine.
So
was.
So Mum made the first one out of an inexpensive wool, very much the same colour as this. It ended up growing, didn't it?
It grew.
Without, and just, I want to I should have said this at the beginning. I don't store my knitwear like this. It's just being displayed like this for visual effect. This is folded up and stored on the bottom of my wardrobe, which sounds worse than it is because my wardrobe actually starts at like chest height in my room. My room's very strange. There was a video showing you my wardrobes. So you knit the other one and it just grew on you, didn't it?
I just drowned.
Nia's, I'm 5'8", you're 5'4".
Yeah.
And Nia is 5'11" and it fits Nia. But once you'd worked out that you liked it,
yeah,
because it's a lot of cables,
yeah,
but it has some nice shaping. I'm going to try and put it on and see if I can get far enough back. You then spent some money on some expensive wool, which this is. It was a Noro, wasn't it? I mean, this is like wearing a blanket. And
yeah.
when I worked in the polytunnel in the winters, there was no heating, so it was very cold. So I used to wrap myself up
It is actually very nice,
in one of these. It is, it's lovely. And they've got dragon buttons that we got from one of the knitting and stitching shows.
And because of the cable it shapes.
Yeah, it's hopefully.
And it is shaped as
Yeah.
well. You start much bigger.
They get wider at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't wear this one very often, but again, because we haven't really been going anywhere.
No.
And I really didn't want to wear this one. Let me hang it up and I'll sit back down. Yeah, I really didn't want to wear that one to London on the tube, because you can just imagine getting it caught in something, or just, it probably would have been fine, but it was also quite heavy. Yeah. So I love that thing. I don't wear it often enough. Now that I've kind of remembered I've got it, I need to wear it more often. Next up is one of my favourites. It's another hortensia, but it's the colour that I love. So this one's got little kind of faux tortoiseshell buttons on it, and it's, I think they called it like a mustard colour. I would love something else knitted in this colour. A lot of the wool back here is, for my stuff, inexpensive acrylic yarn from Stylecraft, the Stylecraft double knit. There are a few that are fancy wools, but I actually find them really itchy to wear next to my skin. These acrylic ones I can wear without feeling scratchy in them, which somebody pointed out the other day is like, I don't like wearing polyester fabric, only natural fibres, but in wool, natural fibres
It's funny,
make my
isn't
skin
it?
crawl.
Yeah.
It's weird. Next we have the first Vian cardigan that Mum knit for me. This again with all the lacework at the back and then the little details down the front. I'm kind of surprised you didn't do anything on the sleeves. The sleeves on a lot of these cardigans are kind of 3/4 length or cropped, and Mum always elongates them for me because I just don't see the point of having a cardigan that doesn't have full sleeves, because it's my arms that are getting cold and I want to cover them up. And this one has fancy buttons, fancy
Really pretty
floral buttons that we got from Whim Wham, and again I'll list those in the description down below. The only downside with these buttons is they are kind of heavy, so they do sort of drag that side of the cardigan down more so than the shell buttons do, but they're so pretty it's fine. This is
another hortensia.
Another hortensia. I told you guys this was going to be a lot of hortensias. This is in an actual wool that we got from, you know those stalls on the knitting and stitching show where it's just a pile of balls of wool in packets?
Yeah, it's a shlub, isn't it? It's got a shlub.
Yeah, it's a little shlub texture.
Nice,
it's really lovely. It goes really well with some of my bright scuba dresses particularly. I only wear this over my scuba dresses because they're long sleeved. I can't wear this without completely covering my skin underneath of it because it just makes me itch. And you're not so sensitive to it. You much prefer natural fibres than me, but they really, really, really make my skin crawl, which is a shame because they're so beautiful. It's another hortensia. This time Mum went, again I don't think I was available for fitting, Mum went nuts with the cuffs on this, so I wear these with the cuffs turned back because otherwise this covers my hand completely. And this one we've got some just little green plastic buttons that match beautifully. And again, I love this colour and would love more in this colour. We've now got to the proceedings where there should be 2 more jumpers. One a Hearten cardigan and one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's another Kim Hargreaves, who I think is one of your favourite
I like
designers.
her. She does some really interesting ways of finishing things.
Yeah. The Hearten cardigan in khaki was made from bamboo. And it was just, it had no factor. Like all of these kind of like, you know, they in. The Debbie's Bliss silk one doesn't, but the rest of them all kind of really kind of contract. But the Hearten cardigan in the bamboo was just really big. I didn't like it on me, but we gave it to Nia.
Yeah, Nia liked it.
And Nia loves it. And you've even crocheted on a little button loop for her so that it closes at the front because it was doing the same thing on her. And then the other one, I think it was called Devote, and I will put a picture in the middle here. It was the wraparound one in the khaki wool.
Oh yes.
And again, it just got so much bigger.
I didn't like it even on the pattern. So.
And it was a really boring knit as well because it was just knitting. There was no cables or anything like that. So Mum's not making me another one of those. But Nia has that one as well because it fits her really well. So technically, I need a khaki cardigan. There's always like a little list of things that are going on, aren't there, Mum?
Yeah. She's marked a whole pattern.
Well,
Kim Hargreaves books.
I bought Mum
with Nia.
Yeah, Nia and I, when Nia was down in September, we sat down with different coloured post-it notes and we went through. I think I bought you 4 or 5? 5 Kim Hargreaves books. She has a lot out, and I'm determined to complete the set because there's something I like in every one of them. And I think it's about it's 17 to 22 pounds for between 8 to 12 patterns, which I think is a really brilliant price, especially as the books are printed. The only downside is they're glued into the spine, so you do end up breaking the spine. So at some point I think I'm going to end up cutting the spine off and making them into spiral bound notebooks for you.
That's a good idea,
because I've got all the stuff to do that. So you could then open them up and not lose the pages.
Yeah. It should be good. Yeah,
which would be great. So yeah, Nia and I sat down and put post-it notes in all of the books. So you know, if you're ever stuck for something to knit, there's a giant queue. You have wool in your wardrobe as well.
I have some stashes going down though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Same for me as well.
Because I'm also knitting bears for Ukraine.
Yes.
I've got to do some policemen for the police.
Okay.
Locally, because apparently when a child goes in for a family problem, they give them a little teddy police.
I did not know that.
No, it's a new thing.
Okay.
I was about to do that, and then the Ukraine ones came up, so I thought, well, I better do them first.
Yes, so you've knit 2 bears, which I have photos of, and now we're going to be knitting little mini policemen. Do you need specific? They got black uniforms.
Black and white, yes. Yeah. So yes.
The teddy bears have had interesting outfits.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, where did we get to? Oh, this one. Actually, Mum knit this for herself, and I think this is a vintage pattern.
It is.
It's gorgeous. I'll see if I can get this on, because like I said, I put Scuba on for a reason. I haven't worn it because
it's wool.
It is wool and short sleeved.
But it's really nice.
So you didn't like it on you because it was too...
Yeah, it showed every curve, let's put it that way.
I love this.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's got the little collar at the back.
Yeah. It's actually rather lovely.
It is lovely. My issue with it is it's alpaca wool. Because it's short sleeved. I can't wear it by itself because it wants to eat me alive the minute. Even now, the back of my neck is touching it. It's making the back of my neck itch. So I was asking Mum, is it possible to
long sleeved?
Yeah, is it possible to add to the sleeves?
I don't see why not. There might be a band, but we can make it a decorative band.
Yeah. Because if this was long sleeved, I would totally wear this over my roll neck little turtleneck jumpers. I've had this thing in my mind that I'm going to make myself a long sleeved white shirt with a collar that will go outside of the v-neck, and then I'm going to roll the sleeves up. And so that would be how I would imagine wearing it. But if this was long sleeved, I'd wear this way more often. It is gorgeous. And I'm really glad that you didn't like it. Because I do. I just need it to be longer sleeved. And I think we still have some of this wool on the cone, don't we?
I think we do.
This is a 4-ply. But this was a vintage pattern, wasn't it? That you found in a book that you've got. So I can't list to this one. I'm really sorry.
I think it was one somebody sent us in one of the packages. Which was just lovely.
Yeah. Now this one, who did you knit this for?
Me.
Okay, I'm going to have to put this one on. You hold on to this. Where did you find this pattern? Was it a Ravelry one?
It's a Ravelry one, yeah.
Now again, this is a real wool. I don't know if I get...
It's really nice,
I've lost a shoe. Oops.
It's lovely.
Oh, it is lovely. It's absolutely lovely. But look.
And that was for me. And I've got short arms. It's a nice colour actually. It's got.
I was actually wondering, is it? Do you think James would get into this?
He probably would.
I think this might actually be. I have worn this.
James or Nia. It's a nice sloppy Joe type thing.
I have worn this. I do like this. I have worn it. Like Mum says, you have to come back again now. There we go. Yeah, no, it's itching around my neck though. Oh, I have to take it off. I'm sorry. I have worn this kind of like over jeans. I think it's lovely, but it's giant. I do. Well, Nia's already had two of my green jumpers.
Yeah.
I was thinking, she keeps looking at her work. I was thinking it might work for James.
Yeah.
Just because it's so long in every aspect.
It might do, actually.
I'm not
We'll
sure.
have to try it on him
I'm
when he
not sure I
comes.
want to give it up.
In June he's coming.
Yes, he's coming back from Kuala Lumpur for a wedding.
Yeah,
We've got to go and see him though. He can't. There isn't enough time for him to come down here, so I think we might not be seeing him till Christmas. I'm not sure I want to give it up, but I don't wear it often enough. And if he
have to wear it often,
and if he would wear it more, mind you, he is currently living in the tropics,
yeah,
so like
he's not going to want it yet.
He's not going to want it for a couple of years.
He might want it when he comes home in the winter.
Yeah. But yeah, this was one of Mum's kind of like, I'm making this for me, and it not quite working. Here is the Harton cardigan. Now this is a modified one with the sloping neck rather than the original neck in navy blue. Again, I love this. It's cropped, it's got interest. This one is a little bit big on me, but I wonder if that's because I've lost a stone recently.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
You could make buttonholes if you want.
Yeah, you said you'd discovered a way of making buttonholes in something that you'd already made.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really wear them, but it's still, it's not as my turquoise one, which you'll be seeing in a sec. I love this. I mean, I wear it anyway. I think Mum actually ought to try this one on with her... Oh, 2 secs. We've got to the end of the clip. It'll only record for 24 minutes.
Hello.
We're back. I think Mum ought to try this one on herself with her 8577 in her navy summer screen fabric, because I think that this over that dress would look really, really good on you, and I think this would fit you really well.
Right.
So I think this one might end up being Mum's, which is a shame because she doesn't like knitting in dark colours.
I don't know if you can see, but the detail on it is just lovely.
There we go. That's much better. Yeah, so there's the little holes. That's on purpose. Needs to not have your face in it. There we go. So yeah, Kim Hargreaves Harton with a modified neckline, but I think this one might end up being Mum's to be worn with one very specific outfit, but I think that would mean that I would need to persuade her to make me another navy cardigan, which may or may not happen. Another hortensia. This time it's in a merino and lurex blend wool. Mum's currently using the plum coloured one to make me a Harton cardigan at the moment.
Lovely.
I love this.
And you can wear this.
This is still itchy.
Is it?
Yeah. I still have to be careful of the necklines that I have this. But I bought this from one of the shows and I used these buttons. Well, Mum used these buttons. I actually bought these for a costume for Dad many moons ago, and they're really on my princess coat as well, my under the water rainbow coat. I do love this. I love the little shine in this. I think it's lovely, and this wool also has the factor which some of the other ones haven't had. Really like that one. This is my first Harton cardigan. So this one much closer fit, do you see, than the navy one. And it has the original neckline, and I love this. I would prefer it to have the, just because that's a preference of mine, but I hadn't realised that making that request.
That was the pattern, and it was the first time I did it, so
it's nice to do as you're told for the first time and then adapt afterwards. Learn the rules, then break them. Like I keep saying for sewing, that's the way to do it. But this one is much more than the navy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, you've done the cuffs on this one a lot deeper than the cuffs on that one. Oh yeah. So they change every time. Yeah. Like, I'll wander into the front room and she'll be like, oh, come here, and then suddenly I'll get a piece of thing held up against me. These ones you knit in pieces and sew together.
Yes.
Which is how you learn knitting, isn't it, for like clothing and stuff. The knitting in the round is interesting. This one is more Debbie Bliss silk yarn. This is actually a chuck jumper, but without the detailing on the front of it. This feels amazing. This one I can wear next to my skin. This one does not live hung up, it lives folded.
It's silk.
I don't wear this very often. I love how the variegation looks at the bottom here, but when it gets into when it gets wider, I think that's my issue with it, is that it's not uniform. But I saw recently somebody was doing this kind of knitting, the intarsia knitting, but they were using a plain, and then for the details they were using a variegated wool, and it looked really interesting. I'll see if I can find a photograph of it, because it wasn't like it didn't turn into stripes quite like this. it was a really interesting effect. I'll have to show you that. I do love variegated wools, I buy them, but I'm not sure I love how they turn out.
No, I know, I'm not so keen on them.
Yeah, one of the first things I remember you knitting was a cardigan, and yours has come out really well.
Yeah,
but it's still not perfect.
Yeah.
So
if I'm going to do stripes, I'd rather do them myself.
Yeah. So I do wear this one as a sort of slouchy jumper. It feels amazing. I constantly looking for more Debbie Bliss silk double knit, and it's not that easy to find. So I have this and my orange rust coloured one in that. I love this. This is definitely a sloppy Joe jumper. This is the Attack the Octopus. I think that's what it's called.
You can see it better when it's on you, can't you?
You can see it better from a distance as well. Octopi. Octopi's head. Tentacles. This thing is amazing. So we'd gone to the Festival of Quilts.
That's right.
And you'd forgotten your knitting bag.
Yep.
So she had nothing to do.
So,
and she can't sit in the evenings and not knit.
No.
So we bought this on the first day of the Festival of Quilts. I wanted this for ages, and it was just like, okay, fine. So it's the white is a chenille, and then the teal is double knit in turquoise.
Yes, I don't think I should have used the chenille because it hasn't got the
same stretch. Yeah. And there were a couple of places where you had to kind of cut the intarsia knitting in the back and knot it off so that I could get it on and off, especially around the hips. It did at one point. It was like, oh, that's not going to fit, but it does now. I'm going to have to put it on, aren't I?
Yeah.
Got to see the octopus. But yeah, Mum wanted a knitting project. I've been wanting this jumper for ages. This is not the kind of knitting you enjoy though, is it? Because it's not mindless.
No.
You have to concentrate on the pattern.
I don't mind when I've got cables and stuff, because the memory comes into your fingers.
Yeah, you eventually learn.
So you can just do it. You're constantly, when you're watching something, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but
oh man, I'll have an octopus.
He's beautiful.
He's beautiful. He is gorgeous and so lovely and warm.
Yeah, it's a really warm one, I should think.
Yeah. Do you know what? I have missed a jumper out. It's the owls.
Oh!
I'm going to have to go and get the owls.
The owls and the one that's waiting to be adjusted in my cupboard room.
Oh yeah. I've got 2 missing. 2 secs. This is the owl jumper. It's called the owl jumper because it has little owls. So I've sewn on these crystals for their eyeballs, and they're very, very cute. The owl jumper technically is not cropped.
Do you ever wear it?
Well, I asked, no, is there a front and a back? There's got to be. I'm guessing that's the front.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get it on. So, as I say, technically this one is not cropped, and I asked Mum to crop it for me from the bottom of the waist shaping, which you have done. And I haven't tried this on since I've lost some weight, but it is kind of perfectly at my waist. And I wouldn't technically wear it over dresses like this. Oh, it does look lovely though, doesn't it? So I don't wear this one very often because when I was a little bit bigger, it actually kind of rode up because everything was a bit bigger, so it didn't quite sit so far down. And I don't have an outfit to wear it with, which is weird because you think
it's a neutral colour.
Yeah. But none of these dresses, because it looks lovely over this dress, but none of these dresses I've got are the right print. They're all kind of too bright, and so yeah, I need to play around with this one. My best friend's coming in a couple of days. One of the things we used to do when she used to come and visit is basically just go through my entire wardrobe, and she'd pick things out and we play, and she'd dress me up and put me in outfits, and it was so much fun. And I've got 2 giant bags of clothes for her to go through for stuff that she might want for herself. There's a cardigan that you've knit for yourself that you didn't like that she's going to get to try on. See if it was the kind of oatmeal-y circular one.
Oh right.
Yeah, you didn't like that one. But Tatty might, because she likes those kind of sloppy jumpers. So I might get her to kind of, mind you, we're just coming into nice hot weather.
Yeah.
So, but I do love this one, and this is the first one of these that you've knit. I asked for a chenille coloured one, and it just didn't work, did it?
No.
Natasha has that one as a sloppy Joe jumper.
Oh right.
So
chenille's not really a good thing.
I think I just need to knit a scarf in it because I've got 4 balls of the white up there for what was going to be a jumper.
It makes a good sloppy Joe, but there's no give in it at all.
Yeah, So I think I just need to knit myself some scarves with it and have done. But I do love this one. I think if you did do this one for me again, I would like it just a touch longer.
All right.
I mean, for making up the pattern as we went along from the bottom up, because it gets knit from the bottom up as well. I'm gonna try and extricate myself. This is why I've not put my hair up today.
It's a shame you don't wear it.
No, because it is lovely, and it's, you know, you spent a long time knitting it, and I spent a long time sewing all those eyeballs on.
Yeah.
Really do need to wear that one more often. The other one that we missed out, this one, it's called the Ruffle Schmuffle. Mum did not enjoy this.
Nightmare.
This is again another pattern designer, so you'd never done any of their work before, and they had a very different way of doing
Very
things.
different. I got there the 6th time I started.
I kept coming in and she was not happy. This is a
Once I'd got it, it was okay.
4-ply, I think it is.
Yeah, 4-ply, so it's more knitting.
So I love this. I think this looks very Zimmerman-esque. And again, it's cropped. I asked for slightly blouson blooming sleeves. This is different to the pattern. I asked for sleeves the same as this one, which I'll show you in a second. This is what I got. The only trouble is, and even Mum said this once she's seen it on me, this ruffle is denser than this ruffle.
Yeah.
And you don't know how you did that, do you?
Don't know. I thought I'd followed the pattern. Both are the same, but they weren't.
No. So, and
I shouldn't have sewn them on, really.
no.
But I hope she wouldn't notice.
Well, the trouble was we put them on,
And you immediately noticed.
and then I filmed a video in it, and you immediately noticed as well.
Yeah.
Like, you did comment.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew before you put them on, didn't
Yeah.
you? But you did comment on the video. You were like, no, they're obviously
Yeah.
different.
You can't get away with it.
No. So we went through the stash. There was a little bit of extra wool. We've come up with a plan.
Yeah.
So Mum's going to knit another one exactly like this and another one exactly like this.
Try to, anyway. As close as possible.
There's going to be a lot of counting going on. And then she's going to sew the new one of this underneath this one, and then the new one of this over the top of this one. So there's going to be 2 ruffles, so it's going to be extra ruffly schmuffly. But that, I think...
And we hope it'll work.
Well, I think it's going to work, because it is, like we said, a 4-ply, so it's not too chunky.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the reasons that you get away with all the details in it. But I love this, and like I said, I think this is very, very Zimmerman-esque. I did a video, again I'll link it up here for you, of Get the Look for Less Zimmerman, and I went through a whole bunch of patterns. There's quite a few that I'd like.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But yeah, you're currently in the middle of
it's quite fun once you understand it. And,
yeah.
It's just getting it started.
And somebody's new vernacular of how they want you to do the thing that you're like, oh, that's what you mean by this.
Yeah.
I know it as this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I do love this jumper. This is a merino cashmere blend.
Baby merino.
There's a little bit of
it's
cashmere
soft,
in there.
isn't it?
Yeah. It is still making me itch.
Is it?
Yeah, I can feel it around the back of my neck. So I will wear this one with some kind of like turtleneck or like mock neck just underneath of it. But it goes really well with Savannah. It actually kind of goes quite well with this as well, doesn't
It's
it?
the colour you like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that really, really nice colour. So yeah, I love this one. I'm very grateful that Mum eventually agreed to make it.
Or got there.
So 2 secs. But yeah, currently this is hanging up in Mum's wardrobe, walk-in wardrobe, and it's currently living in there,
awaiting the next.
like this.
Yes.
Waiting when you have the patience to go through.
Susie.
Small ginger one. She has been sitting very quietly on her bed for the entirety of the
she wants
video.
a bit of love. What you like?
She's like, Dad's just left.
Don't come out. Let me get you up. Nice.
Yeah, she doesn't enjoy being picked up except in very specific ways. There you are. There.
Now.
Back.
All
Back.
together.
Back. No, not back. There. Should be side.
Say hello.
Are you right, tiny dog? Right, where did we get to? Okay, so next up we have got the fine line sweater, which is awesome. Was this a boring knit?
No, it was okay actually, because
It's mindless knitting?
Yeah.
So I actually asked Mum for this one to put in a little bit of wool on the back to designate which was the front and which was the back, thinking that she'd do it in a different colour, and she's done
What did I do?
it in exactly the same colour. But you can feel it.
Oh right, yeah.
So I will try this one on because you need to appreciate the epic sleeves, the epicness of the sleeves, because they are epic sleeves. It's kind of like the 1890s bicycling jumper. Fable Knitwear has just released it called the Bernadette Jumper, and I haven't shown it to Mum yet.
Oh.
The trouble is it's lots of just knitting. There's no interest in it, but it does have...
Well, you can always add interest.
Yeah.
So I'm getting good at that.
It's
rather lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this the sleeve, the cuffs are purposefully long, and if you haven't got your scuba dress, there we go. So the cuffs are purposefully long, and then these are big, and then with because of the way that this is knit, it's really so when you first knit this for me, I was a lot bigger. And you could definitely, because it was so, you could see where my bra was cutting in, and there was definite muffin top, and I put it on and I immediately went, but you had just finished knitting it for me at the end of May last year.
Right.
So it wasn't like it needed to be worn immediately, thank goodness. Again, this is the acrylic double knit from Stylecraft in royal blue. I love this. It is like the less extreme version of the bicycling jumper. Like, it's much less extreme, but I can see that there was a nod to that kind of jumper when they were designing this one. This is a new designer as well. I don't remember her name, but everything I can link will be linked down below. But yeah, I do like this one a lot. I love these sleeves. I absolutely love these sleeves. They're great as well for a lot of the dresses that I've been making, because they've all got big sleeves, so they fit just. Yeah.
Right. It's funny because when you're normally knitting, you knit the front and the back, and that's usually the biggest bit. But with Charm, the sleeves are always
just like never ending.
As big.
She comes downstairs and she's like trying them up against me. She's like, yeah, a couple more inches. That's the fine line sweater. I would like another one of those. Perhaps even as a V-neck cardigan, because it is just lovely. Now this one is another one. It's exactly the same as the red one, except I'd bought a whole bunch of wool and I'd only bought 3 balls of it from Stylecraft.
Oh, that's right.
Because 3 balls was perfect for the hortensia.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect for anything else. But Mum doesn't want to knit the hortensia anymore, which is totally fine. She's made me a lot, as you have seen. So when I said, oh, how about this one, but make the sleeves shorter, because when you made the red one, you made the sleeves way too long. She was like, yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
Get carried away with the sleeves.
So I've got giant sleeves again, but you ran out of wool when you were knitting the collar. So the collar is actually,
it's a whole inch
more than that.
More than that.
It's like 1.5 inches. The collar is like 1.5 inches too short, and it kind of makes it not quite look as good as the red one. So we've agreed that Mum's going to go back in and knit black around the edge to add in the remainder of the collar. So again, it's one of those ones that will get done eventually, but there's no rush. I still wear it as is, which is good. I really like this shape.
Yeah,
I do really like this shape.
And that one worked as well as the others, I think, really.
Yeah. Because I think the reason I like it's got to be cropped, it's got to hit at my smallest point because of the types of clothes I wear. If I wore longer things, which we'll see in a second, it kind of emphasises the hips without emphasising the waist, which is fine, but it's not my favourite. This one, this is the second iteration of this that Mum's knit for me. So this is the one that I really want in black, and Mum refuses to knit it in black because it's boring knitting, isn't it? This is the second one that she's knit because she was like, well, you can dye the other one. And I bought black dye-on dye and shoved it in the washing machine. Not because I looked at this is alpaca wool. I'd looked at the site and they were just like, yeah, you can dye it, no problem. And I didn't read any further than that. You have to dye it at 30 degrees by hand with specific, so the one that I dyed came out like a muddy brown colour. And it'd be this big. It was tiny. It was tiny.
Yes, so it got thrown away.
Yeah.
So a lot of knitting.
That was a lot of knitting thrown away, a lot of expensive wool thrown away. I felt awful. So Mum knit me another one. Now this one she's done with 4-ply and double knit at the same time, because my other one just kept growing and growing and growing, didn't it, as well? And we again went too long on the cuffs because we were worried that they weren't going to be long enough.
That one is better, isn't it?
This one has not grown because the other one was down to my calves, and the cuffs I had to cut, like properly turn the cuffs back. I have got like a one of those circles with a pin in it for attaching this together at the front. I mean, the other one looked good, even growing and stretching. But this one has not grown and stretched. This one also gets stored on the bottom of my wardrobe, folded, not hung up. The other one was hung up. I think I just embraced the stretch by that point. Like literally it was down to kind of mid-calf. Little pitter-patter of tiny dog feet. She's busily wandering around and bumping into you twice. There we go, there's your bed, get in it. Nope. Oh, that was her head.
Yeah.
She's blind as a bat, poor little thing. And none of the stuff that she bumps into moves. It's always in the same position, but she's not quite got there yet. I'm very grateful that you reknit this for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favourite kind of this time of year throw-ons because it's warm without being coat. This one does itch like mad. It's alpaca wool. When we go to the shows, you do head to our UK alpaca to see what deals they put on their combs.
Not so much anymore then.
Well, I still wear them all.
Yeah, she does.
I do wear them. I do wear them. Yeah. But yeah, I love this one. This one's called Winter Waves. It's a entire book, which I think was £24 for the book, of different circular cardigans with different either yarns used for the effect or different positioning of the sleeves. So some of them have got the sleeves right dead center, so you have big collar like this. Some of them have got the sleeves slightly further up, so it's slightly smaller collar and then longer back. But I think there's 20 odd patterns in there. I could be exaggerating. There is a lot of patterns, but it's only available as a book, and it's called Winter Waves, and I love it. I do love it. It's a very, very, very gorgeous cardigan, and I'm very glad you reknit it for me. It's very kind of you.
You're very lucky.
Yeah. Can I have one in black?
No.
Don't tell me to dye this one.
Yeah, dye it, but properly.
I mean, to be fair, you did leave me to my own devices when I was dyeing it as well. I think maybe we should have jointly kind of like researched it a bit better. This one hopefully I can find the pattern for. This is the second time Mum's knit this for me. It is, again, a 4-ply, whoops, sorry, it's sticking to my velcro or my velvety hangers. This is a 4-ply wool. Mum initially knit this for me in the green, this one here, this green, and I shrank it in the wash. Not intentionally. I had no idea that you couldn't wash wool. And I just put it in with a normal 30-degree wash, and you can't wash wool. So
they're bizarre little things.
It's a little shrug. The green one was one of my favourites, and yes, this is alpaca and it eats me alive. But I used to wear it with my Savannah 8577 and it looked beautiful. The only difference with that one is the sleeves were shorter, so you've made the sleeves longer for me on this one. But it's got like a lace detailing, and it's weird, isn't it?
It's a weird one.
It's like
you knit it long ways.
Yeah. And like last time Mum knit it in the round, which is what it called for, and then it ended up really tight on one side, so this time you've actually seamed it. You knit it flat and seamed it together. It's such a cute little shrug. I wish it didn't itch as much as it does, but it does. But it does go really well with Savannah in this colour, so yeah, it's a cute little one. I like this. It's a weird little thing, but it is lovely, and I'm very sad that my green one got felted. We've got another hortensia, this time in the alpaca double knit. I mean, this feels so soft. Like my fingers love it. It's just on my skin. No. I did try and put this on the other day over my Savannah 7537, but the sleeves were too much. They wouldn't fit in. So I wouldn't fit into these sleeves. They weren't. It's the big bishop sleeves under this.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so this has to be worn over this kind of like... This sort of thing, all my t-shirts and stuff, but it is lovely. I do like this one. The last hortensia, and then the very last one I have to show you, this is a Drops Designs as well. So this is actually one that Mum knit for herself. After like a few of the kind of like these kinds of debacles where she knit something that was just too giant for her, I was like, you are much smaller than you think you are, knit this size. And it didn't fit her. So she very kindly, very kind, because she'd made the sleeves the right length for her as well, she very kindly added on these extra cuffs, and it fits me perfectly. Mum's covered in ginger fluff from the dog.
I know.
So again, it's one of those ones that's got the lovely shaping with the cables. I do really like this. Again, I know I don't have to. Come back in. I know I don't have to, but I probably would wear this belted. with a belt over the top, because I again want to emphasize the smallness of my waist. So I would probably wear this with trousers, a little top underneath, and a belt over the top. I do wear this as kind of like a throw-on cardigan to come like in the house over these kinds of things when I'm cold, because it just is really easy to throw on. You've knit yourself 3 of these.
Yes.
You've got your oatmeal, green and navy, haven't you? Mum did change up the sleeves. The sleeves did not come with any decoration on them whatsoever.
No, which
So-
was very boring.
Mum has added the cables.
Yeah.
Look at that cabling
And they're all
there.
slightly different.
Yeah. She does tend to make things up as she goes along. I always try and link to this pattern and then can never find it because it actually doesn't exist. It's like a basis that you've been following and that you just kind of go off piste and do your own thing. Yeah. This one, as I say, Mum had to add this much to the sleeve so that it was doable for me, but I didn't mean to make you make it for yourself too small. I promise I didn't. Really. I promise I didn't.
You did really.
I didn't. But I love it. I'm very, very grateful.
Good.
So let me take this off and hang it up. The dog's back asleep on her bed. She looks very cute.
And that's it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 26, 27, 28, 29. 4 have been given away.
All right.
And a hat. So Mum has knit me, I've got 25 things behind me, 4 have been given away, and my hat. So Mum's knit me 30 things in total. So she's currently working on the plum coloured hortensia from this wool. We bought enough that you could make me a sweater vest as well, like a v-neck cropped hortensia style cables sweater vest, which is going to go so well with the mulberry cobra corsage pieces that I've made. Then we also bought the peridot colour of this for you, and you don't like it.
It came and I thought, oh no,
it's a really it's
Not
a
for me.
proper peridot, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Too.
So that means I get it.
Yeah.
No idea what that's going to be. Probably. Oh no, we do. We went through the Kim Hargreaves books, and we found it's like the hortensia, but it's got a different pattern on it. It's got more bubbles and things on it.
Yeah.
And we ordered quite a lot of that one. So yeah, Mum is very kindly going to make me. Oh, 2 secs.
They disappeared again.
Yeah, we filled up another 24 minutes, and then there's another video. It's going to be a long video, guys. And then I think I've got some 4-ply wool that I bought from a local lady at one of the shows, the Elfgren. I think I would like this pattern with that one, although I want sleeves on it. But again, it's one of those circular kind of crossover at the front doodads, and I want the fine line sweater sleeves on it, so I might need to get another ball of that yarn. I think I have some grey Stylecraft. I have got a variegated coloured one. I'll have to show you that in Tarsia knitting. Is that the correct pronunciation of it? Tarsia. Yeah. Because with the alpaca on the outside, the cream on the outside, but then the colour, it looks really effective.
Oh, yes, I'll have a look.
Yeah. I bought the Moire Star pattern. I bought the knitting magazine with the Moire Star pattern on it, and then it's the one with the little star at the front. If you give me my phone. Oh God, saying all these names, and she's like, she'll see it and she'll be like, oh yeah, that one. Moire Star.
It's like she gives me all these tags, but it's remembering which wool she wants with which thing. So I'll make her get it out for me when we're starting a new one. Oh yes, that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah.
So the Moire Star, I was going to show you the phone, that's not going to help. I'll put a picture up here. It was on the front of Knitting Magazine. I think Rachel's made one of these, Andrea's made one of these. I bought the magazine. Yes. Mum pulled the pattern out, promptly lost it. So I bought the pattern on Ravelry.
And I found it.
Yeah. It's how it goes. Oh, let me see if I can find, wasn't quite stripes like that. Yeah. But I thought it was kind of like, it wouldn't be so obviously like jagged in the stripes changing from colour to colour, whilst you can still see there's a change. I'm going to have taken a screenshot of that and shown you guys what we're looking at. But I thought that was kind of like an interesting way of using those wools, because I do have a couple of those up there as well. There are more projects coming. If I can talk Mum into making me a black cardigan with some cables in it. then I will. But you're always knitting, aren't you?
Oh yes.
You've knit a bunch of stuff for Nia, specifically for Nia.
Yes, yes.
Not just the ones that I give her from the bits that quite work for me.
I do usually do her one for Christmas, don't I?
Christmas birthday present, yes. She got a Kim Hargreaves, super chunky. You were so worried about.
I know.
She loves it.
And she loves it.
I'll have to see if she'll send me a photo of her wearing it so I can put it in.
Wool, and it just looked enormous.
And it knit up so quickly.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that I've bookmarked as well. I'm like, yeah, I like that too. But it is one of those kind of like properly cuddly like jumpers. But again, Kim Hargreaves. We just need to complete her book collection, and then that's you done. It. That's you done for ever. Yeah. But there's always a knitting project on the go. Yeah. You don't have anything coming up for yourself at the moment, do you?
No.
There's nothing you particularly want to do. So that means I get all the knitting, which is awesome. Because you've always got to be knitting.
Oh yeah.
Even in the car, I don't know how she does it. She doesn't feel sick. She sits in the back of the car just knitting away, and I'm in the front like dead staring centre if I'm not driving, just being like, do not be sick, do not be sick, do not be sick. I don't know how you do that. You've also made a specific knitting bag from Lisa Chandler, didn't you?
Oh,
which is
yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. I think Nia and Joe bought me the kit.
They did, as thank you for your tickets.
At the quilt show.
Yeah, because Mum...
Which is just lovely.
Yeah, Mum treated everyone to VIP tickets that year, so they asked what I... That's right, they asked what I thought you should have, and then Mum was wearing a Lisa Chandler dress on the day.
That's right.
And we wouldn't leave the Lisa Chandler stand, and Joe and Nia were just hovering in the background like, bugger off! We need to buy the present!
Little did I know, and it's lovely.
It is lovely, and I've bought a kit for myself, and I also bought a kit for Rachel, which I think she might be bringing to the retreat if she can find it, because Bronte tidied it up for her. So it's somewhere safe.
Okay.
But it is a really, really nice knitting bag. If anybody would like a knitting bag,
it's to be recommended.
Yeah. Lots of people have been very kind and offered to make you knitting project bags over the years. I've always said no, thank you, because you've got this one that you love, and you're not one to have like lots of bags of different projects all around. You want everything in one place. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you enjoy knitting, because I am reaping the fruits. Look at that beautiful rainbow bag there.
And it's very good for me. It keeps my brain active, and it keeps my fingers active at night. So you're not picking or you know.
So at some point we will do a what Mum's knit for me. At some point we will do a what Mum's knit for herself video. Today's example. Yeah. Lovely little jerkin.
Yes.
Very nice. I do like the outfit today.
It's Kim Hargreaves too.
Is it? Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Ready? Bye!
I didn't know what I was going to be ready for.
It's the end of the video. You watch my videos, you know how I finish them. Okay, ready? Bye!